Hello, hello. Welcome to another FanTeam Golf DFS show. This is for the Day 2 Showdown FanTeam contest that we got at the Masters this week. Shaun, how are you doing, sir? I'm joined by Shaun, everyone. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. How you keeping, you all right?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Did you enjoy the first day of the Masters?
Oh yeah, it's good, wasn't it? All the crowds going around with Tiger, and he played well, didn't he?
He did. He played very well, and he looks good to make the cut, doesn't he? At the minute, he managed his game very well around there, and I mentioned this on the stream that I done with Nick and Mark that I only believe he can win on two golf courses now at the age he is at, and with the injuries that he's had over his career. But this is one of them, and if he's sniffing around come Sunday, then we've seen it before. We've seen many greats collapse when Tiger is hanging around.
Yeah, I mean, this is his sort of course, isn't it? Hack around in like even par, and he'll be fine. If it becomes a birdie fest, then you wouldn't really want to punt him and stuff. But I mean, this is like the last time, innit? The last time he won the green jacket, he was on the leaderboard. He was hanging around. No one really mentioned, you weren't really watching him, were you? And all of a sudden, there he was.
No, that's it. And like I say, if he's there or thereabouts Sunday, then I've seen many greats collapse around him. Like you mentioned there, the conditions were perfect for him yesterday. They were a little bit softer, not a lot of wind when he was out. That's set to change today. The wind's meant to get up in the afternoon, I believe. I don't think it's massive, but it's not like what we saw at the Players' Championship a few weeks back. But the wind is suspected to get up a little bit. Yeah, and that he will be in the afternoon group, won't he? So,
I think, yeah, because he went off early yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he went off early yesterday. So that's something to monitor if you're playing the Showdown today. Maybe the morning stack is the way to go again. They will get the softer conditions probably again, and they won't have to deal with the wind as much. But I'm not really worried for Tiger Woods because I think he can, whatever the conditions, I think he can get it done around this place. It was an interesting first round. The first round leaderboard, if anyone's not watched it, Sung JM actually leads at 500 at the minute. Wasn't a really high scoring day at all. There's not a lot of players that are under par at all.
No, I mean, I think the current cut line's about, what's it, 3 over at the minute, is it? The current cut, it'll go higher than that, but yeah.
It's 2 over at the minute. I think it'd probably stay around that, to be fair, the 2 over mark. If the wind gets up in the afternoon, the conditions are going to get harder. A lot of the guys that are under par went out in the morning wave yesterday, so they're going to get the afternoon wave today. So I'm suspecting they're going to come back to the pack a bit. I could see round about 5 under leading again by the end of today. I don't think we're going to get a really high scoring Masters this week.
No, and the one thing I would suggest to players is if you see your current player at like even 1 over, 2 over, don't panic because things change so much in these Masters, don't they?
Yeah, and we saw it yesterday. Like so many of the holes playing a lot harder. Like 15, for example, that par 5, they've moved the tee box back 25 yards, and that played so much harder. It forced, because that used to be a hole where they'd drive down there, they'd hit the bank, roll down the hill, and they'd be hitting like second shot wedging. Now they happen to hit a long iron and in to go for it in 2, and they're having to think about that now. So that you saw a lot of layups on that hole yesterday. I've never seen that before on that hole before. It played completely different to what we've seen. But I like the changes they've made at Augusta. They've made it harder, but certain people still seem to be playing well there. Mr. Woods being a prime example. Englishman-wise, it was nice to see Danny Willett back at the top of the board. I haven't really got a lot of shares in him across DFS. He is a previous green jacket winner, but it was nice to see.
I was just going to say that he's got good course history there. I think I got a couple of shares, but not a lot. I mean, I played him and Zach Johnson as well, because they're previous winners, aren't they? So, and they're not the biggest hitters, are they? I mean,
no, exactly. But you don't have to be. We've seen this course; you can win it in different ways. Zach Johnson, you've just mentioned there, as a prime example. He played when he won it in 2007, I believe. He was hitting all the par 5s in 3 shots, like whereas a lot of the other guys were going for it in 2, but he was just giving himself 5-foot birdie putts every time and making them. So we've seen guys win it in different ways around here. Bryson had an absolute meltdown yesterday. Again, can't get to grips with his course after famously saying it should be a par 67, which I think it's biting him now.
Yeah, I think he thought he could overpower it when he said that before, didn't he? Where it should be like 5 under par and stuff. And I don't think it suits him, does it?
No, I mean, he's a very good putter, Bryson, and I mentioned to you yesterday, I had a little bet on Bryson pre-tournament. I just saw his odds at 40-1, and I thought, silly odds for Bryson. He's a very, very good player. We all know that. And but I don't think he done himself any favors with them comments, and he can't seem to get it right around this place. As I say, pre-tournament favorite Justin Thomas. I mean, he had a nightmare day yesterday, 4 over par as well.
Yeah, he's killing me. I think he was one of my highest owned guys, but yeah, he's killing me. But yeah, I mean, it's 4 over. I mean, if you can make the cut, I mean, you're not out of it, are you? If you make the cut, you're in it, because there's going to be less people who make the cut. There's only 50, so it's not like usual 60 or 65. So he can shoot up the leaderboard. I mean, he's only got to shoot 1 or 2 under today, I think, and he won't be too far away.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like you said, if they're a couple away just off that cut mark at the minute, I wouldn't worry too much. That can certainly change. Justin Thomas is also going to go out in the morning wave, so he's going to get the softer conditions. Probably won't have to deal with the wind as much either. So you like his chances to make the cut, as you said. Me and Shaun today are going to build a team for you. Just a quick showdown team, who we like. We got some stats up. If you're new to the show, you will not know about the deal with Fantasy National Golf Club, but if you head over to fantasynational.com/FanTeam, you will get 20% off of the Fantasy National Golf Club packages that they have over there. It's a great tool. Shaun uses it as well. It's the leading stats golf provider in the world. The stats that you can find on that site, you do not find anywhere else. And there's no better time to get involved, is it, really, at the minute, Shaun? Because golf DFS is just taking off, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean it's huge, isn't it? I mean, and as our pool showed, didn't they? I mean, they both like overfilled, didn't they? I mean, they were super popular, and golf's growing all the time, and it's a very easy sport to play. You don't need to be an expert at golf. I mean, some say you don't even need to watch it all the time. You could just watch snippets here and there, and because golf's like a stats-based game, isn't it? So if you can follow the stats, you're okay. And after a while, you get to know most of the good players. So yeah, it's pretty simple to play, and it's fun to play. It's not like it's, as we all say, the Friday Cup sweats are the worst, because you want to get your guy through to the last 2 rounds. That's the most important thing, isn't it?
Definitely. And we're going to have that today for our tournament long teams. We're going to have the Friday sweat. We will see what happens. But even if you are out of it at this stage and you think that you can't get it back, and play the showdowns, it's just a reset, isn't it, basically? So we're going to get it up here. We're going to build a team between me and Shaun for you. Should we start at the top, Shaun? And Mr. John Ram, he didn't have the best of a days yesterday. He was finding it hard, but he does have excellent course history around here, doesn't he? At 21.9 million, he has to be respected, and we'll get the better conditions in the morning this week. Today, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, what did he shoot yesterday? 2 over, wasn't it, in hard conditions? So you'd expect him to do a lot better today.
Yeah, no, definitely. World number 1 there, Scotty Scheffler. He did have a good day yesterday. It was a weird watching him yesterday. I mean, he finished 3 under, but I didn't think he was ever in control of that round yesterday, if you get what I mean. He didn't look like the Scotty Scheffler we've seen win 3 tournaments this year, but he's got himself to 3 under, and he's very much in conditions. Worth noting that he will go out in the later wave, though.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, he didn't look overly confident and comfortable yesterday, but shoot 3 under and you don't look comfortable, that bodes well now.
Yep, no, definitely. Mr. Dustin Johnson, fantastic course history around there. I faded him a little bit in the tournament long teams, just because we haven't really seen a lot of DJ this year, but he is a former green jacket winner around here. He knows how to get it done. Albeit that green jacket did come in the 2020 Masters, which was held in November, but maybe the softer conditions, the windy conditions, suit him better on this golf course.
Yeah. Also, he's an experienced player, isn't he?
Yes, no, definitely.
these experienced players, they know how to play these majors. They don't panic if they drop a shot here or there, isn't it? And they know that you can only lose the tournament on the first day, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. We moved down to, we've already mentioned JT there, Justin Thomas. He was the pre-tournament favourite for a lot of people, and he's 4 over par at the minute. Does that work in his favour in the Showdown contest, Shaun? Is a lot of people going to see the 4 over par and think, "Oh, I'm going to avoid that"? And could Justin Thomas go out and have himself a day and shoot maybe, I don't know, a 5 or a 6 under?
Yeah, I'm certainly going to have plenty. He's going to go out in the morning. I'm going to stack a lot of the morning, the earlier starters, and a lot of people will look down the leaderboard and I think, oh, +4. No, I'm going to avoid him. He's he had a bad day yesterday, so he's he most probably won't turn it around today. So I mean, I think he'll come in at low ownership, man.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's something to always bear in mind when you're playing Showdown. You maybe want to just to target, like Shaun says, you want to try and get the better of the weather, and then you probably want to target a couple of the lower owned guys, projected lower owned guys, and Justin Thomas may be one of them. A lot of people will see that 4 over and be put off. Let's move down. We go to Colin Morikawa. We're just going to work through page 1, then me and Shaun will build a team. I don't want to go through the whole player pool here, but Colin Morikawa 1 over par yesterday in the harder conditions. He's one of the later guys out yesterday. It was getting dark, wasn't it? I was worried that they wasn't going to finish by the end yesterday. They did, but Colin Morikawa 1 over again. People might see that and think avoid, but he's going to get the softer conditions again, much like JT this week today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not a bad round, is it? 1 over. It's not the worst.
No, definitely not. It's definitely not the worst. Victor Hovland there, he did shoot a decent round, a level par round in hard conditions. Again, another one that's going to go off earlier today. Hopefully he doesn't wear them trousers that he wore yesterday, because I thought they were appalling. I don't know if you saw them, Shaun.
They weren't the best, were they?
No, it wasn't.
Walking around the course wearing those.
And now we get to my favourite player. Today is the day that he'll turn up, Shaun. Rory McIlroy. He's had his sort of badish round, but again, it has to be said, it was in the harder conditions. He's 1 over par currently. I've mentioned with Nick and Mark that I think there's too much pressure on Rory to win this tournament. And I think it affects his game when he comes here. I also think he's too aggressive for this golf course. I think we've seen it with Tiger, what Tiger done yesterday. If you can manage your way around it and don't be overly aggressive, then you can compete. But Rory, to me, it's in his nature to go pin seeking, and at Augusta National you cannot do that. Would you have any interest in him today?
Yeah, I think you would. I mean, as you always say with Rory, he never puts 4 rounds together ever. He's got the capability of shooting 8 under, isn't he? At any stage, his talent level is like supreme and stuff. So you always have to consider him, don't you? But like you say, he's quite aggressive and stuff. I mean, he should go around most of these 4 under easy, shouldn't he? His talent level.
Definitely. I think the pressure gets to him here every time he comes here, and I don't. Yeah, I just find it very hard to back Rory at times. If I put him in the lineup, I just don't watch. So I think that's the best way to play him. Let's move down to, again, someone else who was the favourite to win this tournament, and he had an excellent round. Although it started weird and it ended weird. Cam Smith, 4 under par, started with a double bogey and ended with a double bogey.
Yeah, I mean, he got to, what did he get to, 6 under at one stage yesterday, wasn't it?
He did. But it is worth noting that I personally think I leaned heavily on strokes gained on approach with my model this week, and Cam Smith led the field in strokes gained approach yesterday. He's 4 under. He's 1 shot off the lead. I don't even want to call him this, but he does look like a weasel. I'm going to call him it. Can he improve on that today? He was kind of in the middle, wasn't he? So I don't really know what conditions we're going to get for Cam Smith when he goes out.
No, I mean, I was looking at the weather earlier, and I think is it about lunchtime or just after the weather's supposed to get a bit breezy.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's sort of in the middle, isn't he? So yeah. I don't know whether to play him or not. I mean, like you say, he does look like a weasel. Well, that's really cruel to say. Sorry, we shouldn't really say that. I mean, that's really cruel. I mean, he's a top player.
Yeah, he is. He's a very, very good player. Maybe needs to improve his driving accuracy a little bit, but he's a very, very good player.
I think he'd be really high owned today.
Yeah, I do, and I think I may pivot off of him for that reason. But
Because he's like nearly 2 million cheaper than Rahm, isn't he?
yeah, he is.
So,
Someone else that's cheaper than John Rahm, Patrick Cantlay. I was all in on Patrick Cantlay about 2 months ago, winning the Masters. I've actually got like a one and done contest, and he is my pick on that. So seeing him at 2 under, I like. I didn't really go heavy on him in DFS this week just because I mentioned it on the show the other day with Nick and Mark. There's a bit of a East-West Coast thing with Patrick Cantlay. He performs better on the West Coast than he does on the East Coast. It's a true stat. I'm not making this up. He misses a lot of cuts on the East Coast. I don't know why. It just is what it is. But he seems to have found a bit of form again, and he's certainly in the mix, isn't he? At 2 under par there.
Yeah, I don't have much of him. Yeah, he's certainly in the mix, and I think he prefers home cooking. He lives on the West Coast, doesn't he? So I presume he plays better at the sunnier tracks. I presume. I don't know, California, that sort of region. So yeah, it's strange, isn't it? But yeah, he certainly played well. Yes, he's more than in contention. So
definitely. We'll go through these two because I think we can put them together because they're both on the same score at 2 over par here. So we've got Jordan Spieth and Xander Schauffele. I know which one I would prefer to play. Both have excellent course history around here, no doubt about that. But Jordan Spieth looked out of sorts yesterday, and I've been off of him for weeks and weeks. I don't think that there's something not right with his swing. He looked very off sorts yesterday. So did Xander Schauffele, but both of them will go out in easier conditions this morning.
Yeah, I prefer Schauffele, definitely. Yeah, I mean, Spieth's, yeah, he hasn't been. He's not the player he was he? I mean, before he was, taking all well before him. But yeah, no.
Someone that I backed to win the tournament. I mean, he's certainly not out of it, so we won't write him off yet. Mr. Brooks Koepka, he's 3 over par. I think people will see that, be put off by it, much like we sort of said with JT. I would certainly have shares of him in today's slate because, again, he's going to get the easier conditions.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think this easier condition. I mean, what sort of weight would you put on the easier conditions to the harder conditions? How many shots? 1, maybe 2 better?
Yeah, 1. I'd say 2 most, definitely.
Yeah, so I think I would go for it. If I was playing this for the first time, and I would go down the list and find 10 players, 12 players, something like that, who go early, and then maybe just pick and choose between those 12. I think you'd be in a good position there. I think you're going to need to find which players go out early, rather than just look at the salaries and stuff and think, oh well, he done better yesterday, So
yeah,
that'd be my advice anyway.
Let's move down to the reigning champion, Mr. Hideki Matsuyama. Looks to have got over them injury issues that he had. He's a level par. He's very much in the hunt again. Knows how to get it done around here. What do you think, Shaun? Is he a risky play just because of the injury? Is he? I try not to play players like him. I avoided Paul Casey yesterday, that works out nicely.
Yeah, I had some, but saying that we had safety net, so I think I had some Casey, but I rarely play Hideki, rarely ever. But you're right. I mean, he's got a neck injury and stuff, so yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know if I would. Well, be a bit risky.
Let's move down to Mr. Will Zalatoris. Shaun, if I told you this guy's only played 5 rounds around Augusta National and told you that he'd been under par on every round, would you believe me?
Yeah, because I knew that.
Yeah, there you go. He's 1 under par at the minute. I've never seen anything like this with a guy who's played 5 rounds around this golf course competitively. Obviously, he's played practice rounds, but competitively, I've never seen this at this golf course. This is weird. And he just likes it. He gets it done around here, which is weird because when he's putting from 1 foot out, I get really nervous.
I was going to say he's not the most confident short putter you'd ever see in your life. You wouldn't put your house on him making a 3-footer, would you?
No, definitely not. But I'm certainly I'm in on him now. I would certainly have some shares of him in today's showdown slate, no doubt about that.
I've captained him in my season-long team, so yeah.
Nice. Let's move down to Mr. Bryson DeChambeau. We've mentioned briefly about him. He's 4 over par at the minute. I think he's a massive avoid.
I won't have any.
I think, again, much like Cam Smith, he's sort of middle of the pack weather-wise, so I don't think he's going to get either side of it. I think it's an avoid. Again, like Hideki has the injury issues as well, so that's a void for me. Someone that was popping within my model, but I couldn't put him in any lineups because there was no course history here. It's Daniel Berger, and he's making me regret that now because he's 1 under at the minute. It has to be noted that he will go out in the more difficult conditions in the afternoon today. But any interest there, Shaun?
A little, not a lot. Yeah. He's a good player. He's very steady, isn't he? I mean, he competes every week. You know, he's always up there and thereabouts. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty steady and stuff. So yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, a lot of these players in this sort of 18 million range, isn't it? I mean, you can play because you're getting big savings and they're good players. They're not, you're not having to pick really cheap guys, are you? You can get a pretty good showdown lineup with a lot of, you pick maybe 4 of these 18 million guys in.
Yeah. No, definitely. And last but not least on this page, and like I say, we're going to get onto a team build after this, is Louis Oosthuizen. Did Louis Oosthuizen have the Tiger effect yesterday? He's 4 over par. Did he? I mean, it sounds weird saying that because Louis Oosthuizen's a seasoned veteran on the PGA Tour and in world golf, but something happens to players when they play with Tiger, and it's that crowd. And I thought it might have been Neiman, but Neiman seemed to have coped with it yesterday. Did it happen to Oosthuizen?
Maybe. Did I not see somewhere where he was struggling with an injury yesterday? Did I see that somewhere?
Yeah, I saw that early on that he may have had like a back injury. So playing with Tiger, that on my mind as well. He's in the void, isn't he, on the showdown?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and if you believe he's affected by Tiger, he's playing with him again because obviously they go out in the same pairing as yesterday. Yeah, I would avoid. I mean, I think there's a lot better plays cheaper than him, and if even if you've only got you could just pay up a couple of 100,000 extra and get a lot better players, can't you? 18 million. So I'd avoid.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Shaun, let's build a team for our listeners, and let's start on page 1 because we've talked about it. Do we want to chuck Justin Thomas in this lineup?
Yeah.
We've mentioned why with the lower ownership potentially. Do we want to stay on this page? We both like Zalatoris, didn't we? So should we chuck Zalatoris in this lineup as well?
Yep. Oh, yes, definitely.
So we'll chuck Zalatoris in, and then we'll head on over to page 2, and then we'll briefly talk about the players that we're going to put in our team here. Do we want to play Mr. Woods? That's the question, isn't it? I actually think I'd rather play Mr. Neiman down there at that price. But anyone else on this page that tickles your fancy, Shaun? I mean, Webb Simpson, I talked about him to no ends all week. Just great course history around it. Every time he's played this course, he's finished in the top 20. That is just unreal. And I didn't care about the injuries with him either. He's currently sitting at 1 under. Would you play Webb Simpson?
Yeah, I've got him in all my season teams, but yeah, I'll definitely play him. He's another very steady player, and he's pretty cheap, isn't he, for what he is and stuff. Yeah,
so
Webb Simpson. I was going to say another guy I like is Corey Connors. I think he gained strokes in most metrics yesterday.
He did. You're right. Yeah, he was, especially around the green, he was excellent around the green and tee to green. So yeah, excellent there. So should we chuck Corey Connors in this lineup as well?
Yep.
So we chuck Connors in. So that leaves us with 2 spots, and we've got 30.4 million. So we just 15 million basically. Let's go on. I think we're gonna have to go on to page 3 to grab someone from here. I was quite in on Justin Rose before yesterday with the tournament history here, but he was poor, wasn't he? He's very much down.
Yeah,
back at the minute.
4 over, wasn't it? I think so. Yeah, he wasn't poor. I mean, McIntyre, he was steady enough. I'm just trying to find someone who we could play who looks okay. What about Jason Cockrack? He went out early, didn't he? Didn't he go out early yesterday?
Yeah, he went out yesterday. I'll tell you, someone who was popping in my model as well was Kevin Na. I think he was popping just because of the course history around. He's got excellent course history, and he's 1 under par at the minute in harder conditions yesterday.
Yeah, we'll put him in. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a good underdog, and then that gives us a bit of savings in, so we can head back onto page 2 if we want to. We've got 16.7 million. So let's head over back to page 2, and yeah, we can go from Mr. Woods down. How ironic is that? Tony Finau got it done yesterday, didn't he? 1 under par. Looked good.
Yes, he did. What about playing Neiman? Do you want to play Neiman, or is he playing?
He's playing with Tiger again. I know he played well yesterday. I don't know. Something about that worries me.
What about Answer?
What is Answer at the minute?
Level.
And he went out in the... Did he go out in the easier conditions yesterday or the harder?
I think he went out in the harder. I think he went later, didn't he? Or did he go early?
Yeah. That's all right. We'll go to Answer because I think Finau and Neiman will be popular. I think probably Woods will be as well. So yeah, we'll go to Answer. He's got the game to get it done. The captain on that's hard, isn't it? Because I know we both picked JT because we think he'll get a couple under today. Or did you just captain JT? Is that going against the grain as such, or do we captain Zalatoris in that lineup?
Yeah, I would say a lot of people who pick Thomas almost will be captain him, so I would captain Zalatoris just to be a tad different.
So there we go. There is our lineup. Justin Thomas, Will Zalatoris, Webb Simpson, Corey Connors, Abraham Answer, and Kevin Na is our underdog in that lineup. I like that lineup, Shaun.
Yes, I'm just going to start to throw it in.
Definitely. And sorry, I was just today's contests are live now. You can get involved now. They're up, and they are a €2 buy-in for those contests and a €750 prize pool. So come and get involved today. There is a special one coming for Sunday. We won't talk too much about it, but be on the lookout. But every day, if you think you're done already within this contest, the Showdown's it's a hard reset. And they're well worth getting involved in. And they bring their own unique challenges anyway. Like me and Shaun have just briefly mentioned there, you have to take weather into account, ownership, and they bring different scenarios into the equation. So well worth getting involved in, and they're good fun to play. Just head on over to fanteam.com and you'll find them in the golf lobby there. Shaun, thank you for joining me.
So I was just going to say Sunday one will be fun because obviously we'll know the cut and we'll know who's in contention for the leaderboard, and as you say, there's something special coming on Sunday. So
yes, there is, and I have a big article for it, which will be out Saturday evening. So big article coming out for that. Loads of content. I will have another quick half an hour stream tomorrow coming for the day 3 Showdown contest. But Shaun, thank you for joining me. Where can we find your lovely self?
Twitter, SMO, DFS mostly, and then obviously in the FanTeam Discord. If you're not already in the Discord on FanTeam, come in and say hello. We do competitions, giveaways. You can find all the blogs, plenty of stats, lots of people chatting, asking advice. And the good thing about the Discord as well, we try and help all the new people playing. So, even if you're new and you've never played golf before, come in and just say hello, and it's all good fun. Yeah,
I totally agree with that. The golf community within the Discord chat now is just thriving. It pops every day. I go on there. Sometimes I've not been on there for a couple of hours, and there's like 50 messages left in there. So it is popping in there. Get involved in it. It's a great place to be and hang out. But everyone, I hope you have a fun day. Enjoy the Masters day 2 and enjoy the cut sweat. We're all going to feel it today, but let's get 6 through. Let's play the Showdowns and let's have some fun. Cheers, guys.